Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards. I'm going to show you some cards that I recently picked up at a card show in St. Louis. The card show is called the Machinist Hall Show. That's where it's located, in the Machinist Hall. It's been put on by Ron Estes for a long time, and this one is the smaller of the Machinist Hall. It's the one-day show. And so I went up with Mauricio, who sets up with me at shows all the time, and my friend Tom from Jefferson City, and his friend Steve, who is now my friend. We had a great time going up and coming back. We talked nothing. The only thing we talked about was baseball cards and baseball in general, and it was a blast going along with them. So before I show you some cards, well, I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to show you cards and tell you a story at the same time. So let me get these out of the way. At this card show, before I show these cards, I want to give a huge shout out to this company right here. This is called the Collector Store, and you need to check them out. They are in St. Peters, Missouri, which is just really close to St. Louis and St. Charles. The show was held in St. Charles, but these guys had a table set up. Now, the Collector Store has been around for a long time. I'm going to put this on here so you can see it. And you need to Google them because they've been around since, I believe 2001. And if you're a collector in just about anything, they have it in stock for you. But the reason I want to give them a shout out is they gave me a huge deal as I was walking around. I came up on their table and they had some cards set out, but they also had some vintage cards set out. And one thing that I don't get to see, except maybe at the National or at Strongsville, but I didn't even see it at Strongsville last year, was collectors that have mid to low grade Hall of Fame player runs. Usually when you go to shows, people want to set, they're going to get a table. They're going to put their nicest cards and most expensive cards they can at the show because they make the most money on it. But there's guys like me that I like to do some player runs every once in a while, and they had it. And I went through this box, and I picked up these cards right here. Now, I'm not going to take too long telling you about it. That's a Tony Oliva 73 and Kari Shrimpsky in action 71, and I was able to work on a great deal of player runs going through their box. And Jason was the guy who was running the table, and he had real big personality, and he made me a really, really good deal on these cards, doing these player runs, and I want to give him a huge shout out. I was able to pick up a Willie McCovey 67. A 1967 Eddie Matthews. They had a half dozen single row boxes filled with this stuff. And I wish I'd have been the first one at the table. I'd have brought them all home. Another 67 Hoyt Wilhelm. Now, if most shows, if you go to, Hoyt Wilhelm's a Hall of Famer, but you're not going to see a whole lot of graded Hoyt Wilhelm cards at the shows. At least I'm not going to. Catfish Hunter. Another, you can't call Eddie Matthews a second-tier Hall of Famer, but, you could probably Hoyt Wilhelm, Jim Hunter. Another great pitcher, 65, Juan Martial. A 64, Duke Snyder. 59, Sporting News, Warren Spahn. All these cards I'm in the middle of a run on. And last but not last, but 58 Larry Doby, and another 58 Hoyt Wilhelm. Now it's nice to be able to do some player runs and find them already graded sometimes instead of finding them raw and then having to grade them. And we'll go over again sometime why I grade my cards. So listen, I wasn't finished there. And so I'm going to show you the three what I call cards that I went for and picked up. This 1953 Bowman color, Enos Slaughter. 1951 Bob Feller. And a 1951 again, Warren Spahn. Now that Warren Spahn there, by picking up that card, I get to mark that off on my Warren Spahn run. I get to mark it off on Mike Payne's 300 great card list that I'm going after. And I get to mark it off of John Wade Boggs fan, 100 cards for 100 cards. Now, on John's list now, I think I am down to 2 cards. And I'll be excited to get that. So now I want to do a quick, VR. First, I'm going to do it for Sammy and Orlando, who are celebrating 2,000 subscribers apiece, and they just wanted us to mention, one person that's our best friend or something. And at the risk of sounding like a Scott Reindeer Studio or some 13-year-old junior high kid, I got a lot of best friends on here. And the one I'd like to give a shout out to, I don't know who he is because I haven't met him yet. And if you're thinking about doing a YouTube video about baseball cards, I want to get to know you as a friend. So I truly mean that. So there you go. I'm sorry I kind of bailed on that card there, or that challenge there. Now the next shout out I want to give is to Peter B. Peter B's got a great channel, and he's the first one to comment on almost everything. But he wanted us to show a card from our birth year. So the card I'm going to show you from my birth year, I just can't show anybody else, and that's this 1968 Johnny Bench. So get a chance, get over there, watch Peter B's channel, and give him a like. Now, the other one I want to give a shout out to is Hugo, Signs of the Pastime. He's got a super channel. And he wanted us to show our best pickup of the year. And I like bailing on Sammy and Orlando like I did, or I'm doing the same thing here. I can't just narrow it down to one. So, one of my favorite pickups this year is this 1952 Topps Roy Campanella. I just love it. That finished my Roy Campanella player run. And I can't give enough voice to this card right here. I picked it up just a little over under a year ago. And it's 53 Bowman color proof Dodgers in action, which is not going to be in my collection next year. So guys, again, I want to thank Jason Collector Store. Get out there, or get online and see his channel. Go turn into Orlando and Sammy Thunder. Stop by Peter B's channel. Stop by Hugo's Sign of the Pastime channel. And again, guys, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.